Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? Good to see everyone here. I really appreciate that. Welcome to my live stream. If you're new here, basically we're here to just talk about photography, and I'll try and answer any questions I can about maybe Olympus cameras, workspace, or photography questions in general. I can probably help you. We can talk about lenses or camera gear, whatever you guys want to talk about today. And let's see, I always forget something, right? And also check, someone let me know in the chat section about the sound today. Hopefully it's a little better. Because on the last stream, I found out that I didn't plug the microphone jack all the way in when I was checking it. So that's kind of what happened. Why some people were getting only sound out of one channel, and then the sound was kind of muted all together. So let me fix the chat window. There we go. Anyhow, let's see who's here today. Christian Johannes Eppel, awesome. Marco, David Crooks, hi, good morning. Plato, John Allen, Jeff Painter, Casper, good to see you. And thanks for posting those pictures in the forum, on my forum. Those are great. For those of you that don't know, Casper got the 100 to 400 lens from Olympus, and it's not quite available yet, I don't think, here. But he's in Denmark, I think, and he said he got it already, and he's been taking pictures, and he posted a few of them on my forum. So if you want to see like full res images of some shots, that's he was very gracious to share those with us. And hey, Lysippus, how are you? Jonas, good to see you. Mike Ham, always good to see you. And I will answer this question in a second. Serge, good to see you. John Softly. Yeah, I'm thinking about starting back at 9:30 on Sundays instead of 10. I might bump that to 9 o'clock my time. That way I get a little bit more of the day free. And then Thursdays I might bump to 6 p.m. my time, which will be, way out for some of you. It'll make it really late, but then for a lot of people it'll bring them in too. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. And yeah, David, I tried so hard to go to the photo walk. Well, I don't know how hard I tried, but I just set the alarm for 5 a.m. to go with you guys out to the botanical gardens yesterday. And I didn't hear it for whatever reason, and it did go off. It's been very reliable, but then I woke up at like 7:30. So I couldn't make it. I got to figure out what I need to do to get my sleep schedule consistently so I can get up every morning at like 5 a.m. Because like I said, I don't know if I really get more things done, but I feel like I get more things done, right? And especially with the daylight savings going to expire in a month or so, I want to take advantage of as much light as I can, right? So yeah, I'm sorry I missed everyone. I did want to go, because if I don't schedule or plan to go out and take pictures, sometimes it could go 6 months, right? Like this year, it's terrible. I haven't really been able to get out and go shoot. You get so preoccupied with just stuff around the house, and then actually this month I've been a little busy with my photo jobs too, because they wanted me to add video to a lot of the stuff, and it's video takes a long time, and I'm still learning the ropes and getting white balance and everything else right. But I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. I'll get the video right. Because doing video for like properties is very different than doing, say, like a video for YouTube where I'm just talking about cameras or doing tutorials. Is very different than doing product video, right? With motion and all kinds of things that you have to care about. When you do a YouTube video, like when I do a tutorial or I'm just vlogging, you don't really care about the video quality quite as much as the content. The content is really what matters. Of course, to have a nice, production quality is always good, but for me, that's second. That's the second most important thing, is the quality of the video, you know, the production quality. But in when you're getting paid to do it, right, production quality is extremely important, because the content is just the product or the property, right? There's not a lot to really do there. It's really just, it's already there. You just show a video of it. You know, there's some things you have to consider, like which parts you want to show and the flow and the stuff. But for the most part, it's not hard content-wise, you know, because it's already given to you. But then production quality becomes extremely important, and that's where, yeah, I learn a little bit each time I go. And a lot of times I'll do videos of properties that they didn't pay me to do videos for, because I want to practice different types of properties in different kinds of lighting. And yeah, so I'm learning. I may need to, like yesterday I recorded a video for property that, you know, they didn't pay me to do it, but I did it anyway for myself. I didn't give it to them. And yeah, the white balance is always an issue because I got lots of mixed lighting, but then I'm finding that recording in 24p is not conducive to slow motion. And you know, when you think about it, it makes sense, right? And you know that intuitively 24p is not good for slow motion video. But until you actually start to do it and practice it and see the difference, it's so yeah, my video is a little bit choppy. And then when you start to incorporate some of the software to correct for that choppiness, when you slow down 24p, it gets a little mushy and it's not consistent, the quality. And then other things, like I tried to take a video of a couple of rooms with the ceiling fans on. I said, oh, that would be cool, right? To have the ceiling fans on while I'm recording. Yeah, that was a disaster. Because I slowed the 24p down, the fans got really choppy, so I incorporated some blending techniques, right? They got an optical flow, they got all kinds of crap, you know, in the software to smooth out choppy video. And then the fans look like garbage. I mean, the fans were just... So if I was being paid to deliver that product, it would have been a total fail because of the 24p recording and the fact that I had the fans on. So now I know, never turn on the ceiling fans when you're recording property. And close the windows so the mixed lighting is not as bad, and you can correct white balance to some extent. But anyhow, that's all of that. And let me go ahead and that was my day yesterday, and the day before was with working with video and that learning curve that goes with, because you know, video, photography, sound, they're all different sort of niches, and they have their own kinds of problems and challenges. And 24p was that, because everyone tells you, you know, the 180 rule, 24p, recording that, it's crap when it comes to doing product video, right? It just, it doesn't work. You have to be recording at least 60p, and then move very slowly when you're doing your panning shots. Maybe I'll show you guys a little bit of that, but let me pull one up, and then I'll get to the questions if there were any. Did I put it on my desktop? Let me see if this comes up. Let me turn it, oops, turn the sound off. Yeah, this is it. Let me see if I can show this. Is it this button? Yeah, here. No, not that one. This one. Give me a second. This one. This is it, yeah. All right, let me go back to the video. It's just, what, 30 seconds. But see the fans? See how choppy the fans are? Like the blades are broken. And I was able to smooth out the video. And then, yeah, I gotta turn autofocus off. That's another thing I learned. And just use the fixed focus. Now here the fan doesn't look so bad, but yeah, overall it's not great, right? And then look at the LED lighting on the stove. You know, it's kind of flickering. So that's another thing. So these are just things that, where's my, yeah. These are things I kind of picked up, you know, when as I practice, right? All these different kinds of a video. All right, let me see if I can get to the questions. I think there was one early on here. Mike Ham says, community, I need some ND filters for a trip and mine suck. I have terrible luck getting variable ones banding. Oh, okay, I'll give you a good recommendation. That's an easy one. Let me pull it up. This is the one that I bought. Give me a second. I just need to go into my Amazon purchase history, order history or whatever. Excess, no. Wow, don't buy this one. This one was 200 bucks. That was a waste of money. Not polarizer, ND filter. Back when I thought it mattered. Okay. Now, which button was it? This one? No. Gosh darn it. This one? Okay. All right, so here are the various ND filters I bought over time. This one wasn't great, but this one turned out to be the best. If you want a variable ND filter, it's this one here. And then buy the ring size that you need, or you need to buy whatchamacallits, the step rings as well. You know, always buy the ND filter and then buy step rings, and then buy the ND filter that's the largest, for the largest ring size that you have on your lenses. Like in my case, it's the 12 to 40 Pro. So I bought a 62 millimeter. Did I do that right? Yeah, this is a 62 millimeter ring size. So I bought a 62 millimeter filter. It's 50 bucks, but yeah, I don't get that X spot or banding. I don't get very strong color change. There's a slight color change when you have it all the way maxed out, but it's minimal. Like in a blind test, you'd never be able to tell, especially if you correct a little bit in post. It's very, very subtle, if you even notice. I had to look for it to see if there was some banding or color shift, and it's very subtle. Very subtle. Like you wouldn't notice unless you put like one with the ND filter and one without it side by side. Then you'd say, yeah, I can see this one's a little bit warmer than that one. But that's it. Okay. So that's that. See what else we got. Hello. Hello, Eric. How are you? Richard, good to see you. Let's see. Good morning, Craig. I put others ahead of myself. Not so sure. I'm very narcissistic, right? You have to be if you want to be on YouTube. And Andres says all this filters from eBay, and says Bob says I'm already outside and eating. Nice. Oh, hi Wudang, how are you? And oh, so you're commenting you also use the Nano X. Good. Okay. Spraying a piece of furniture. Yeah. Awesome. Good. I'm glad you got the filter. Hey Arthur, how are you? Busy making photos. Always good. And I thought I saw some other question here. Oh, John McCormick, how are you? And I did see your post in the forum about you used the My Clips. I watched like the first half of that 3-minute video. Yeah, it was a little it was great that you used My Clips, but yeah, I was a little bored after about a, I mean, that's, you know, you're just cutting down trees, right? But it was cool that you used that feature. I'm trying video with my clips. Oh, that's what this post is about. It says, I'm trying video with my clips and camera. Works great for amateur stuff. I posted it on the forum, Aftermath of Microburst. Yeah, okay, yeah. So your thing here was about that post you made. So he made a post using my clips, and I have a video on how to use my clips. If you've never used that before, it's not on every camera, but like the EM10s and the PL8s, I think all have it. So that's a good place to check. Or watch that video if you're not familiar with my clips. You know, it's in my usual fashion. It takes like an hour to talk about very simple features, but you should know it inside out by the time you're done. Let's see. The fans distract from the image. Yes. And someone on YouTube did a video that compared a bunch of ND filters. Yeah, that was, what's his name? Gerald Undone. He compared 5 or 6 of them. And he went with, I think, the Gobi? No, I forget which one. But they're expensive, you know. This one is 50 bucks and it's awesome. Unless you're, you know, like I said, if you're doing paid work and professional gear, it makes sense to start looking at very expensive accessories, because they will save you time and money over the long run, depending what it is. But as an enthusiast, amateur photographer, just experimenting, and you just want to get decent pictures, you know, there's a median, right, between quality and price that I think you can find and get 90% of the results of a professional gear without, at, you know, 10% of the cost, right? Because when I was looking at my shopping cart, man, I saw some filters in there I spent a boatload on, you know, more than I've spent on some used cameras. And it's like, I don't even use them anymore, you know? Yeah, $200 ND filters. Okay. If you ever want to grab filters that you're not sure you'll use often, go to Adorama's deals section and sort the biggest discount. I scored 2 Manfrotto ND filters. Wow. For $10 normally. Yeah, you know, the B&H photo, you know, if you're, you know, I check their site every day for their daily deals, because at time to time there's a killer deal on there on something I might have been thinking about, but didn't want to spend the money. But if it's like 50% off or more, you're like, well, you know, maybe I should get it. Of course, that's why I got so much crap in this room. But yeah, B&H, and then they have it. Then if you want to see more deals, they have a link or something for that. And then you can search by brand and see what kind of deals there are, and then compare those with Amazon. And, you know, basically, if you do your due diligence, you can always find, you know, you do your due diligence and you have patience, you can get a good deal on camera gear. Wudang says, I really experienced a lot with uncoated lenses, and my results were against purple fringing. You need to use a UVA2 filter that cuts to 400 nanometer, and for green fringing, use the Nano X coating. Oh, interesting. If you want to fix old or difficult creative lenses, that helps a lot. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because like we were talking about last week, right? Old lenses have a lot of imperfections, and this, you know, chromatic aberrations and things is one of the biggest ones. And then Mark Wolf says, I recently purchased the D700 for 150 bucks with 700,000 shutter count. Wow. And he bets it'll be a 1 kilogram paperweight. If you don't have any lenses for it, it will be. But let's assume you have some lenses, right? It'll be fun to just take out once in a while. You know, like I have an old Pentax SR10 that I've taken out maybe 2 or 3 times in the last 5 years, but when I take it out, I enjoy it. You know, is it worth, you know, and I paid about the same, around 150 bucks for it, you know, many years ago. It's probably not worth anything now, but you know, every camera offers its own experience, right? Or different experience in photography. And that's always what's great about photography is there's so many ways to experience it. I was talking about this with John through email. You know, he was talking about the something film, 23 film. I forget. It's basically 120 film, but it's a different format. And the cameras are like 8 pounds, you know, because they're large format cameras. And but it's just one of those things where you love the camera, the gear, and you want to just go out and take a picture. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular or epic, right? You just want to take a picture and enjoy the process, and then see what the final result is, and just know and get the satisfaction of the process going into making that image. At least for me, you know, that's what I enjoy most about photography, and that's why the gear itself is not as critical for just general photography. You know, if you're just a hobbyist, you know, try all different kinds of cameras, get all different brands, and just enjoy it. You know, it can be an expensive hobby though, right? If you go that route. But anyway, some people have it like that. They can just go crazy with gear. Let's see. Mr. Bob, that's great. Do you also use Flickr? Yes. I don't know where to store my photos anymore. I'm going in a hurry and go home. I can find photo worth sending. Yeah, I use Flickr. You know, you can use Flickr. I mean, Google Photos is free. Flickr is free up to 1,000 images or something. There's a lot of free online sources. You know, sometimes it's JPEG only. Most of the time, what I've seen are JPEG only, and then you have to kind of pay for if you want to get raw data storage, where it'll just store anything, raw files, JPEGs, etc. You know, music, whatever you want to store. So it just depends on your budget. I don't bother too much with worrying about backups. This is a whole different conversation, really, but you know, I was culling the images out of my Lightroom. I deleted 7,000 images last week out of my Lightroom catalog, and you know, a lot of them were just test shots and blurry images, but some of them were just shots that I'm like, I'm never gonna look at this again. You know, it's a nice picture, but taking up space. I need to keep room because I do a lot of video now, so I'm always culling images to make room for video files, and then I'm constantly deleting video files. But yeah, Bob says he pays £25 a year for 200 gig. Yeah, that's a lot of JPEGs, right? But like I said, I don't know if I want to pay a fee for images. I just buy extra hard drives, and honestly, if they all crash and die, it's okay. You know, nobody's going to look at my pictures 100 years from now or even 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Now, there's some photographers where it's like a gold mine when you find their old photos, but you know, I'm not one of those photographers where somebody's going to be you know, they found some treasure of photos, you know, on my hard drive. Never unseen, never published, except, you know, that I'm just not that kind of photographer. But you know, that sounds kind of sad, right? But again, for me, photography is about the process, the journey, right? And enjoying it. And then the final result you can take pride in. And a lot of people, you know, you put it out there online, they look at it for like 2 seconds and click like or dislike. It's like, and I may have spent hours on that picture. I remember when I started, you know, I would spend all day making a picture. I was doing a composite one day. I spent all day, and people would look at that. No, that's nice. How'd you do that? It's, well, you know, I did this and that. It's okay. And it's not even a 30-second conversation, right? It's like, oh, let's see what else you got, and then it's click, click. So I don't know. Maybe I should take. That's just me. You know, I back up things. You know, I have double backups of most things, and I have triple backups of the most recent thing. But if it all goes, it's okay. You know, I'll just buy a new hard drive and start and continue taking pictures. All right. Yes. Wudang is saying you buy specific filters to make specific corrections to Creative Glass. Yes. And Andrew says he recently picked up an EM1 Mark II for $570. Yeah, that's a killer deal. I see them once in a blue moon. If I'm looking for it, I'll find a deal for like $600 for an EM1 Mark II. But I'm not tempted at all because I have so many cameras now. You can upload to Amazon photos. You get unlimited space. Yes. Yeah, and Google is technically unlimited space if you upload JPEGs. I think it recompresses them though. Not that you can really tell, but I don't think you get full res images. Like if you upload a full res JPEG, it compresses it, and it may be the same resolution, but not the same image quality. I think they compress it a little more. I don't know if Amazon does the same thing. $5 gig free. Wow, that's a lot. A lot of JPEGs on Amazon. Amazon is free unlimited photo storage. Yeah. God, this morning I was flossing, and a little piece of floss got stuck in between my teeth, and I can't get it out. Ugh. It's really annoying. You know, it's like when you get a popcorn kernel stuck in between your teeth. That's kind of what it feels like. I tried getting a pair of tweezers. I don't know. Hopefully it'll work itself out over time, but I couldn't. The floss got, well, that TMI, right? We don't talk about my flossing issues. Oh, John, you donated some of your videos to a local history archive. That's interesting. Wow. I guess if I was filming documentaries or doing documentary type work, interesting. Floss it out. I tried, but I can't get another string of floss in between my teeth now because that one is in there. So when I try to push the floss down, it just doesn't go down between my teeth. I mean, it's a tight space right there anyway because of the filling. And I think that's what happened. One of my old silver fillings is getting a little rough. And I'm gonna just buy some gummy bears and just eat a lot of gummy bears, and hopefully it'll come out. Randy, good morning. Yeah, it's like what, 7 in the morning over there. It's good light though, right? You should go out and take some pictures. Water pick. I do have a water pick. I'll have to try that next. I'll try something maybe after the stream because the streams are, 2-3 hours, right? Hopefully it'll soften up or work itself out by then. Come to think of it, maybe some hot coffee would work. Yeah, that's, Mark Wolf, you're talking about your D700 that the APS-Cs now can beat it in low light, but yeah, find an APS-C camera for 150 bucks that'll beat in low light. It's all relative to what you paid for something. Interdental brush 0.6. Interesting. I'm just scared I'm gonna pop my filling out. That's what happened to my filling over on my right side of my mouth. I was flossing and one of my fillings from when I was a little kid popped out. Ugh. So I had to get all that taken care of. So the right side of my mouth now has all new fillings that are kind of white, so you can't tell they're fillings. They just look like your regular teeth now. But the left side of my mouth still has all the silver fillings from when I was a kid. I had terrible dental hygiene. I'm like a hygiene nut now that, since I became an adult, but at some point I'm gonna have to get this side fixed too. I hate going to the dentist. Verona, good to see you. Back to ND filters. Emily of Micro Four Nerds raved about the Freewell 2.2 to 5 and 6 to 9. Okay, yeah, I didn't buy Freewell. I bought the K&Fs. I thought they worked pretty well. Went out Wednesday with my Olympus OM2 SP and Minolta XD11. Wow. Yeah. I'm itching to take out man, I still got some photos in my Nikon N75. Let me see if the film is still in there though. Holy crap. I still got film in there. See, it's yellow here. I know exactly what pictures are on here too. These are from last year. Almost a year ago. And the film is still in here. Let me see. How's the batteries even? Batteries are gone. I'll have to charge these up, but I gotta finish this roll. I wonder if it remembers how many shots I took since the batteries went dead. Be interesting to see. It might. I don't know. Does anyone know? Like on this is an N75. If the batteries go dead while film's in it, does it remember how many shots are left? I mean, I guess it'll stop automatically when it can't pull the, wind the film anymore, but I would imagine it has some volatile memory in there. But over time, even that, can clear out, right? Still waiting on the Olympus autocord. Oh, wow. That's an old reflex camera, isn't it? Yeah, I agree, Jack. The color creator wheel on the Pen F is really nice. If you the Pen F has saturation for individual colors, but not hue. And if they added hue, saturation, and luminance, if they had all three controls in the Pen F, because there's some rumor another camera's coming out by Olympus, right? I can't think of anything left except maybe a Pen F2. Because they got the EM1, the EM5, the EM10. Nothing left. And they just did a Pen PL11, I think. So only thing left is like a Pen F2 that I can think of. Maybe a TG7, but why? Why would they do a TG7? That doesn't make any sense. Because that's their other best-selling camera, one of their better-selling cameras. Neo, wait. Oh, Neo, how are you? John Leach, glad you could join us. The TLR, okay. I got this neat attachment for the Nikon DF that makes it possible to take a photo of a slide or a negative, then process. Oh yeah, I've seen those. I was thinking about getting one of those. Because scanning photos on a flatbed scanner, I use an Epson. It does a great job, but it's such a slow process. Versus, if I could do that, yeah, the quality may not be the same. I don't know, it should be, but like I said, a lot of times you just want to see the image. You don't really need this super high definition, edible, raw image. You just want a quick scan. Which, the scanner can do, but then it's low resolution. If I can do a high resolution very quickly, I don't know. And Tony says not the Pen F2. Really, why not? And Wudang says, I go with the Voigtlander Besta 66. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's an awesome camera. That is an awesome camera. Yeah, it folds up, right? But it has that accordion style lens, and then you open it. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one. This one, right? Anyhow, that's cool. That's cool. Any places where I can I don't know, Marked Wolf. You took pictures with a film camera and there was already film in it, and you want to post those pictures. I have no idea where you can post it. Just put them on Flickr. I wonder if there's a place online where people can upload photos of things like that, where because you hear about people finding people's GoPros in the lake, and then they find the owner from the video that was on it, or in this case, film, right? I don't know. Yeah, I bet if you research that a little bit, I'm sure there's places you can submit those photos. Uh, but then the person that's looking for the photos has to know that that site exists too, right? I don't know. It's one trick pony as far as I'm concerned. You think the Pen F2 is a one-trick pony? Wow. Wow, that's my favorite camera though. I mean, it does everything an EM10 does, and more. And it does a few things no other Olympus camera does. I don't know. I don't know if I would characterize it that way. And then Christian's asking, weren't Jip supposed to come with a statement? I guess after they sign the deal, maybe by the end of the month. I don't know if anything's officially signed. But yeah, there was an interview that I read last week that you can find on the rumor sites. They interviewed the people at JIP. And yeah, I was not encouraged by what I read. They're going to continue the Olympus brand and maintain the current customer base. But as far as cameras go, I didn't see anything that said, yeah, we're going to continue the OMD line. Continue, hope to see more EM1s, EM10s. I'm like, I didn't see any of that. All I saw was something about we're going to make video cameras, surveillance cameras, etc. And try to make Olympus profitable and see where it goes from there. So we may not see any new cameras for a while, if ever, under JIP. At least not the kind of cameras we're used to, our OMDs and stuff. Even though that's what they paid for. They paid for the OMD brand. We'll see. Yeah, to each their own. That's so true. I mean, I love all cameras. I just that one just happens to be my favorite. We'll have to agree to disagree. That's fine. We agree on something. That's all that matters. The new Hasselblad 907X digital back kits looks lovely though. A Leica TL2, maybe. They're expensive though, Leicas are just, and this is the thing, right? When I bought the Fujifilm X-T30, because everyone raved about the film simulations, the Eterna, the Chrome, etc., and they look great when you look online and you see all these channels, posting their images through the videos and just drooling over it. And so I said, oh wow, so I got an X-T30 side by side with my Olympuses, and I'm like, yeah, there's a little difference, but it's not like night and day where I'm gonna always shoot with a Fuji from now on. It was like, it's okay, I didn't think they were particularly, they didn't do anything for me, the additional film simulations. And that's the problem when I look at Leica, that's exponentially more expensive than even a Fuji. And people talk about, yeah, the Leica look. And I'm like, I don't want to be disappointed again like I was with the Fujifilm. That's why I'm like, yeah, Leicas are nice. You gotta, you can appreciate the build quality, the form factor, and everything about a Leica without worrying about the image quality. And I think there's something to that as well, the Leica experience. But then the images themselves, I don't get my hopes up anymore after being so disappointed with the Fuji. So when people talk about the Leica look, the Canon look, the Olympus look, or whatever, I'm like, I don't know. You take a picture, they all look the same to me. The only difference is the little name on the front, whether it says Olympus or Fuji or Leica. It's like they're all digital cameras. They're just going to take pictures. Yeah, I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, obviously, and there's certainly some differences that are wasted on me, at least. But if someone else really enjoys that, don't let me hold you back. You might really like it, but it didn't do anything for me. I did read. Bob is asking, did I read the Fuller interview article? Yes, I did. I did read the whole thing. It was only a few more words. It wasn't that much that I could see, but I did read that whole page. It was like one page on the article, and it didn't really add anything that I can remember worth talking about. I mean, we can go back and read it and talk about it, but it's like ultimately time will tell. We can speculate on what they say, but what was Olympus saying for like forever until they announced they were selling? They said everything's great, we're not selling, and then a month later they said, yeah, we're selling. So I don't base my decisions on the future of a company. I base the decision on what I can buy here and now, and I'm extremely happy with what I have now. I just got the M1 Mark III. And I use it a lot. It's great, and it has a great selection of lenses already that I can get. I may even consider getting the 300 f4. I don't hesitate to buy anything Olympus, or because a company might be going out of business, if I'm very confident in the quality of the equipment as it is. If I buy it now. Randy just wants the new firmware. Yeah, and he doesn't get the Leica prices either. I know they're so high, but it's got to be, there's part of it name recognition and legacy and all of that. But it's got to be some, I did hold, I went to, I go to camera shows when they used to have them until this year. I did hold and handle some Leica cameras, and they were really nice, very well made. So there's something to be said for that. I haven't owned one ever, and I've never held one for longer than a few minutes at a trade show. But they seem like nice cameras, but they are kind of pricey. Yeah, and Marco's saying he's read the same as me with Thale Edition, that they will only focus on higher end cameras. And what does higher end mean? I mean, do they mean higher than, say, an EM1X? Are they talking about, very high-end business level type cameras, which, exist, right? Or are they talking about OMD kind of higher end? I don't know. It's very vague, Backlit and stacked. I think best ISO values. I think backlit will add some benefit. Being stacked, I don't think adds any benefit to improving that. I mean, if it does, it's even less than being backlit. Because basically they're just moving the wires behind the sensor instead of in front of it. But there's so little difference between the two. And stacking things is just adding a little bit more processing on each pixel versus pushing all the electrons over to the one side of the sensor. So there's going to be less inherent noise because there's a shorter electrical path for the electrons to move. But ultimately, we're talking, wow, really very little difference. Pentax always sucked at video, but photo is great. Yes, Pentax makes good cameras. Leica cameras are handmade. That is the cost and quality. Okay. I get that. I get it. I mean, I I might get a Leica camera one day. I just not now, but one day if I can get a really good deal on it. You know, like I bought a film camera for like $7 and it's worth like 300 one time. Uh, I'm scared to go out and shoot with it because it's new in box. I bought it for $7. Ah, and then Michael says, I read the same as you about JIP, so I've started to look at the Nikon Z system. Do you have any thoughts? Yeah, Nikon is pretty awesome. I don't know if I would have any more confidence in the longevity of Nikon as I do Olympus or Canon or anyone else, given the current market conditions. So don't buy, like I said, don't buy a camera based on this perceived longevity of the system. Things can change, overnight on any system, and I've always said that, and it's okay. We'll just buy something else. If Nikon stops making cameras, I'll buy something else. If Olympus stops making cameras, I'll buy something else. It's not a big deal. But that said, the Nikons are really nice. I think the ergonomics are top notch, and the image quality, if you like their straight out of camera JPEGs, are a little bit warmer than Olympus, but very, very nice. And they have probably one of the best dynamic range systems if you like to push and pull your highlights and shadows. The shadows more so than the highlights. The shadows ability to be able to recover those are really strong. And I would, if I got a Nikon, they have the APS-Cs like the Z50, and they have the Z7, Z8, or Z6. Yeah, Z6 and Z7s, and maybe a Z5 coming. The 24 megapixel sensors, I think they're a little long in the tooth though. I don't know. I haven't looked at those systems in depth, but I don't know how much different they are from my Nikon D750 24 megapixel sensor. I don't know if they've added BSI and stacked and all of that stuff like Wudang was talking about. But I would say, they're nice cameras. And from what I can tell, the autofocus system is very competitive. I think Sony or Canon is still the very best, but for still photography, I don't think, even an EM10 Mark II has decent autofocus for still photography. What else can I say about Nikon? Because, like I said, I shot Nikon for several years. They make excellent lenses, so you can pretty much buy, just like with Olympus glass. If you buy a Nikon glass, you can have a high level of confidence that it's going to be quality image out of it, with all the usual compromises in price and zoom range and all of that. But generally speaking, they make good glass as well, so you're really not going to go wrong when you go with Nikon or any camera system. The only challenge is that the lens sizes are going to be much, much bigger and heavier than your Micro Four Thirds systems. So if you got into Micro Four Thirds for its small size and weight, maybe you got into it for its lower cost overall with the lens selection and everything, you may want to stay with Micro Four Thirds, maybe even go to Panasonic later. But because going to a Z system has, think of all the reasons you got a Micro Four Thirds to begin with, and see if the Z system, if you want to go over, if the Z system is still an issue in that respect, like you don't like the size and weight and cost of all of their systems and lenses, there's no reason to move out of Micro Four Thirds now if you're still happy with it and it's still working for you, right? So, but if you move to the Z system, I don't see an issue with it other than don't buy it because you expect it to last longer or have any longevity over any other camera system. I don't think anyone is safe right now. And I said this 2 or 3 years ago. I said, if Olympus goes, the others are not far behind. So mark my words, on that. Oh, Nature, good to see you. Who else besides Sony makes camera sensors? I know Toshiba made some. Supposedly Canon makes their own. I don't know who has fabrication plants. You know, to do these very high-end sensors, high megapixel sensors, you need pretty high-end fabrication plants. But yeah, there was a Toshiba and the Nikon D7100, and yeah, there's Sony, Toshiba. I thought someone told me Canon makes their own. I don't know, to be honest. Sigma does a foveal sensor, yes. That's true. But a silicon-based sensor has a full range of all colors, so it's very hardware consuming to read the sensor out fast. This is why it's not popular. I must be catching the second half of that conversation. Ooh, the floss worked itself out. For those of you that were here at the beginning of the stream, oh, that's awesome. Man, that was like a piece of kernel stuck in between my teeth. Well, part of it did. There's still a little bit there. Okay, but it feels a lot better now. The Sigma Quattro H has only one compromise since they crippled the readout to 60% or so. Huh. And Bob says, I'm not going back to film. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Developing and printing can be fun, but ultimately it's another process that needs additional space, takes time and money, and can be risky. Yeah, I just do film once in a while, and I send it in or take it in to get it developed. Yeah, I'm not setting up a lab with chemicals and stuff. If I shot film all the time, maybe I'd think about black and white, even color to some extent. But I'm not that much into it. You know, I like to shoot film time to time, and I recommend everybody shoot film. Not at first, but once you get more experience with photography, you know, shoot a couple rolls of film just to get that experience of, you know, if you're into the process of photography. I always recommend shoot film, you know, just for that experience. And Nature says, hi Jock, how are you? It says, nothing wrong with Micro Four Thirds. I'm not changing. Yeah. And hey Rob, I'm tempted by the current EM5 III sale, but your issues with the quality of your EM5 are giving me pause. Yeah. That is a good question because I was nagging last week about my EM5, right? That the thumb grip, it came loose. The little rubber piece on the thumb grip is coming off, and then it's not powering on. And I narrowed it down to when the camera goes to sleep, it won't power back on. You know, I have to take the battery out, put it back in, it'll come on. But after it goes to sleep, I can't get the camera to come back on. So I sent it in. That's why I sent it in for warranty work for that. Other than that, I haven't had any issues, right? I think, you know, the camera's well made and durable because I've dropped it a few times in the past. Hopefully they're not watching, whoever's in Olympus repair, right? But I broke one of the buttons on the top. And, you know, that there are things that, you know, are my fault, clearly. And then you have the nefarious reports about, you know, the lens mount breaking, right, on the bottom. You know, I would put most of the blame on the user on that too. You know, by putting too heavy of a lens on the front of the camera or whatever they did to cause that to happen. I don't think that's the camera's fault or a design flaw. That's just not being careful and taking precautions when you put heavy things on the front of your camera. Because I haven't had any issues with that part of the camera. I think it's a terrific camera though. I wouldn't tell anybody not to buy it, but I can tell you what my experience has been in terms of quality. Yeah, the thumb grip came off and now it's not powering on after it goes to sleep. So I've had those two issues with that camera. If it was only the thumb grip, I might let that slide, but I'm not happy about the camera not powering on. Now the EM1s, I would probably, if you see my video on the EM5 Mark III versus the EM1 Mark II, you know, clearly the EM1 Mark II is the superior camera. I wouldn't hesitate recommending anybody to the EM1 Mark II. The EM5 Mark III, I don't really hesitate recommending. I still don't, because maybe I'm like a one-off or I'm the only one with this problem. Because if 1,000 people buy an EM5 Mark III, I'm the only one with a thumb grip problem. Okay, it's not a problem with the camera, right? So it's still kind of too early to tell if there's really a quality control issue with that camera, in my opinion. So at this point, I would still recommend that camera to anyone that's interested in a small, lightweight, very capable camera. But again, you know, being open and transparent and all of that good stuff, those are the issues I've had with it. And I don't know how prevalent that issue is. I haven't heard of that before until now. I'm the only one with those issues, as far as I know. Yeah, the cost of film and processing certainly makes you think about twice about your composition, and if it's going to be memorable, right? Yeah, you're definitely very heavily invested, not only financially when you're doing film for each picture, right? But emotionally and mentally and physically, you know, emotionally and mentally, not physically so much because you're just pushing buttons, right? But it's definitely a mental exercise to take, you know, just watch one of Nick Carver's videos. You know, he shoots large format, right? Wide, large format. He'll spend days setting up for a shot. You know, he might go out there the day before or the week before and take pictures for hours with his cell phone for composition, right? And then he'll go back, you know, the night before and stay up all night and wake up at the right time for the right light and start taking pictures and setting, you know, so he'll walk away with 7 or 8 pictures and he's got probably, you know, 60 hours, you know, invested in those 7 or 8 pictures. All said and done. So it's an investment in your time and money and your mental capacity and emotionally to some extent. You know, just, you know, I'm not saying get started with large format, just get a little disposable camera and take pictures. I don't know, but still taking pictures with a film camera, you know, might be an experience that I think every photographer should enjoy, or can enjoy, I should say. I don't know what an NK4040 is. Nature, never heard of it. And Wudang said that's why some pro photographers go for old Merrill cameras. The edge resolution and colors are the best, but resolution is low. Oh my goodness, yeah, I've seen those cameras. The Merrills. I haven't looked at those in a long time though. The cost of film, yep. And then with all systems getting smaller bodies, I understand why Olympus sold out. The Fuji X-T4 has put the cat amongst the pigeons. Yeah, I mean Fuji makes nice cameras. Like I said, I didn't like them personally, but they're great cameras. It's just not the right camera for me, is all I can say. But the entire system is still going to be larger than Micro Four Thirds. But it's a good compromise, right? If you're deciding between Micro Four Thirds and full frame, you know, you can look at APS-C. But APS-C is not much larger than 4/3, Micro Four Thirds. And Jock says, I have a chance to pick up a 25mm f1.7 and it's stuck with my EPL7. Wait, no, I'm sorry. It says I have the Panasonic. Oh wait. Jock is asking, I have the chance to pick up a 25mm f1.7 to go with the M10 Mark III. Any reason to spend $100 more for the Ollie? Not really. If you're just taking pictures, I think you lose the ability for focus stacking and the M10 Mark III. Yeah, there's no reason not to get it on an EM10 Mark III because most of the features, you know, the small features that you might get that you might lose on your Olympus camera, they're not on the M10 Mark III because I think it's like you still get high res. I think the only thing you really lose is focus stacking and focus bracketing when you use the Panasonic on the Olympus cameras. So, and a 25mm is not really a focal length that you would do that with anyway, right? It's not a macro lens. So $100, yeah, just get it. It's a great lens. Some people say it back focuses a little bit at f4. I don't, you know, I don't have that problem with mine, but just be aware of that. When you use it on Olympus cameras, they say that doesn't happen with Panasonic. John thinks a good film black and white printed image will still be the digital one. Yeah, I was really happy with the black and white prints I got when I shot some black and white film. I was really happy with them. And if I had time and money, this crazy techno format film cameras are really interesting for panoramas. Film is great for panoramas. I print them and hang them up. Yes. That's what Nick Carver does a lot of. He loves doing panoramas of landscapes, like out in the desert. Just Joshua trees and old rundown buildings. Yeah, gas is a problem for all of us, Tony. I agree. Hey, Leon, how are you? I loved my Konica Auto Reflex T3. I actually found film photography easier than digital. I love manipulating the black and white. I guess once everything's set up, it's not hard, right? Doing film photography certainly takes longer. Kind of. Depends how you look at it, right? Konica is great. God, I had an old Konica 35mm lens made for my Minolta camera. Awesome lens, but man, it was a brick. It was heavy. I think it was the 135mm f2.8. Wow, that thing was heavy. I sold it for like $30, you know, which is about what I paid for it, but amazing, amazing lens. And then Fotis says, I got an X Pro 3 a couple of weeks ago, and I might just return it and get the EM5 III deal. Wow. The X Pro 3, that's the one with the tilt down screen, right? Yeah, I would definitely prefer an EM5 III over an X Pro 3 personally. Oh, the Nikon F4, yeah. Man, I've picked up a D4. I know how big that is. I imagine the F4 is even heavier, right? Because it's all metal, but about the same size. And Mark Wolf is asking, what's wrong with the X Pro 3? He's asking Fotis because Fotis bought it. I'm curious, what didn't you like about the X Pro 3, or what is it about the EM5 III that you want to get, even though you have an X Pro 3 now? I'm just curious what's in that decision process. Because people ask me all the time, what, you know, not all the time, but time to time people ask me, why did I switch to Olympus or why do I use Olympus? And, you know, it's the size and weight advantages that Micro Four Thirds offers. The ergonomics, in particular with Olympus over Panasonic, I really like. And the ergonomics, I'd say, are right up there. I think the two best cameras ergonomically, in my opinion, are the Nikons and the Olympus. And the Olympuses are even better than the Nikons, in my opinion. It's close, though. But they're very, very good ergonomically. You know, I did a review on the Canon RP, and the ergonomics are good on that too. But I still prefer the Olympus ergonomics over the Canon RP that I tried. Oh, the screen is annoying you. Yeah. Yeah, I get that, right? You have to flip it down. Man, I went out shooting last week, and it was such a fail. It's like the worst day ever, and I really wanted to take nice pictures that day, and I got back and they were just, nothing was in focus. I missed focus constantly, and just, you know, you ever just have a bad day in photography where, like, just, you know, you shouldn't be taking pictures that bad? It was terrible. The trick is to buy Panasonic and an Olympus camera. Yes. I do have one Panasonic. Is it one? Yeah, I do have one Panasonic. And then I have, as far as digitals go, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. There's one there. 7 Olympus cameras. Probably one I can't remember now. Can't wait to compare it to the G9. I consider the G9 one of the most ergonomic cameras of all time. Yes. I was very tempted by the G9 myself. For the top plate screen, right? I just love that top plate screen. And you know, I hear time to time people argue, you know, you don't really need it anymore. But I think they're great. I don't know, somehow I got used to it with my Nikon D750, and I've always liked the little screen on top. Burning and dodging were the only editing skills you needed in a darkroom. Yeah, but you can only practice, you know. It's just not affordable anymore to do that. You know, to get good at it, you have to practice a lot. I guess with black and white, technically you can see the dodging and burning in effect, I guess, but I can't remember. It's been so long since I developed film myself. And I've done both black and white and color at home. Yeah, Bob is sticking with one system. It's like I was watching James Pops's because he was looking at the Panasonic S, is it the S5 that's coming out? And he said all he has is a G9. That's it, one camera, and I don't know how many lenses, but he's got one camera. I know he's got about 100 bags, like me, but he said he only has one camera. I don't know how people do that. Another one is like, you know, I thought it was bad enough, like Peter Forsgard, right? He, wait a minute. Phew, thought I missed something. But anyway, Peter Forsgard got rid of everything Canon and went all in with Olympus. I can't do that either. Even if I could have a lot of Olympus stuff, I could not get rid of my Nikon gear. You know, it's funny though, I was able to get rid of my Sony gear. It was a little painful, but I got rid of everything but the body and the kit lens. I kept the body and the kit lens because it's worthless. I might get 50 bucks for it. But the lenses still had some value, so I got rid of those. Oh, hey Walter, how are you? Yeah, you like this setup? Well, it's not only I'm sitting at kind of an angle, but also I'm sitting a little further back from the camera because the before I had the camera seriously about this far away from my face, right? And yeah, that was okay, you know, but this is a lot more comfortable. You can see my hands, you can see what's going on my desk. I have to give a little tour of my studio. You know, this small room in my house. I rearranged everything. Ooh, dang, you're good at selling stuff too, huh? Man, I can't do it. I don't know why. Oh, and John's asked me about my E330. I've only gone out one other time since then. What did I take pictures of? Let me see. I think it was just of, I think I've already posted that on Instagram. It's just of my dog. So yeah, I haven't gone out again. Let me see. 2020. This is a photo job I had yesterday. Hold on. Where's the E330? Look at just the raws. That'll trim it down some. The last thing I did. Yeah, the last thing I did was just the pictures of my dog here. Which, you know, for almost 15-year-old camera, it's really quite amazing how good those pictures are. I just can't believe it, you know? In really good light. This was in bad light. I was trying to I don't know. This was not a good photo walk. I just couldn't get any decent pictures. Anyhow. Yes, I haven't done much. I do want to get out. Hopefully maybe today. I don't know. I always manage to sell. Okay. What with that extension grip is Olympus giving it for free? It should come with I don't know if they're giving the grip away free right now. There's promotions all the time on and off in different parts of the world. I bought mine when it first came out, so I didn't get any deal. I got like 6% off the price. That was it because it was a launch deal. Oh, the lighting is working? Yeah. I simplified the lighting because before I had 5 different lights set up. Now I just have just this one. I don't know, maybe I can show you guys a little bit. Let me see if this comes on. Yeah, all right. So here's I got autofocus on. Oh, I'm not in movie mode. Hold on. Let me put in movie mode. I can't see. There. That's better. So I got it's my new laptop and this is the monitor I've always had, and then down here I have a touch tablet, right, that I can use a pen. So I do this for my tutorials, and of course my keyboard. But I have all this extra desk space now, right? And then of course there's the EM1 Mark II there on a tripod, but I just have this one umbrella now for lighting. And then I have the one light here in the ceiling fan, and that's it for light. But I used to have 5 different lights on all the time. I had 2 umbrellas, I had that light, then I had a light over here that I used to use to hit my face. But then over here, I have a new table, but I got my bed scanner set up, and then I got my laptop next to that, and then over there my cutting board so I can cut, you know, because I do prints. I print my stuff time to time. So this is my paper cutting board to cut prints down to size so I can frame them. Like there's one right now behind my hat that I cut out and I need to frame. So that's going to be next. And then that's my battery charging station where I have all different kinds of batteries. And, you know, my printer where I print for printing my prints. And then down here are my toolboxes, right? This is a box of batteries. This is a box of audio gear. This is a box of mounting. Oops. This is a box of mounting gear. Above that is miscellaneous. And then down there, I got, these are all my different kinds of cables. In each one of these drawers, my USB cables and my hard drive cables. And then this is just stuff that just would not fit anywhere else. Just weirdo tripods and mounting gear that was kind of awkward or bulky. And then this is my shelf of various cameras. That's my Sony up here, NEX. And then on the next shelf, the second shelf, is my Fujifilm X-T30. This is just some lenses. And then these two little buckets here, this is buckets of like step rings and lens caps and body caps and filters, all different kinds of filters in little pouches. And then some hard drives down here from back in the day. And there's my video slider that I took out yesterday to do some video for property. And that's it. And then these are my photo albums where after I print them, I put them in these photo albums. And there's some more photo paper, the 4x6 photo paper down there. And there's some bags down here that I don't use very much. And then just office supplies here and files and folders. So there you have it. That's my new office or studio. It's hard. Oh, I didn't really show you guys this either. Hold on. Let me see. Where's my button? What button did I use? This one? Yeah, it was this one. Oops. Now I'm tethered to my computer with this stupid thing. I'm gonna have to go to a boom mic or something. All right, let me point this way. So here's my chair with my little stupid pillow I need to fix. But yeah, I have all this desk space now here that I can use. God, I'm so happy. Why is there a hit the info button? There, sorry. This is really need a wider angle. You can't see nothing because the angle's not wide enough. But all right. So there we have it. Pentax K100D CCD still does fine even with 6 megapixels. Yes, David, tell it. Absolutely. Oh, you have an E500. Yeah, the CCD. With all these flash sales every week, I wonder if Olympus will offer EM13 for $300 or $400 off for a limited time. Yeah, eventually they will, definitely. And then Music says he got an email from Olympus EM5 Mark III with a 12 to 45 Pro for $12.99. That's a good deal. I wouldn't say it's spectacular. Fair price, though. I mean, it's a good price. Good price. A little better than fair. And John says, you're so organized. Not really. Yeah, organized. For now, I just set it up. Let's see in like 30 days if it's still this well organized. 8 minutes to the next stream. Yes, thank you, Bob. My unofficial moderator there. Yes, hopefully I'll drop fewer things, or if I drop them, they don't fall as far, right? Because yeah, that was a problem. I'd be doing something on my desk and then I drop it. If you watch my stream from last week, you saw I almost dropped the E330. I wasn't paying attention, and the strap got looped around my chair, and I didn't realize it. And I was rotating my chair around, and the E330 was just tinkering right on the end of my desk. Man, I was so lucky that didn't drop. And your tour just reminded me of a question. Can you get clean HDMI out of an EM1 Mark III? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Even not in movie mode, yes. Where's my EM1 Mark III? I'll prove it to you. Here's my EM1 Mark III. Let me hook it up. I'll either prove or disprove it. But yeah. So I know movie mode, definitely you can get clean HDMI out, but let me see about camera mode. Oh, come on. You have to be in the right. Oh, let me extend the lens. All right, so this is not a movie mode, right? So if I hit the info button, let me check the menu. I know in movie mode, you just set it in here. Output mode, record mode. Yeah, video only. And I have to be in 1080p. Okay, let's do that. So I know movie mode is fine. Off, off, off. All right, that's all off. Because I have a low battery. Oh crap, I gotta go to my next stream. That might be the cleanest I can get. Because even if I press and hold this down, nothing turns off. Oh, I bet if I put a memory card in here, then I'll get a clean HDMI out. And then let me make sure I'm not in like high-res shot mode. And then turn this off, turn this off. I'm just pushing the info button. And you see the battery life is showing, but that does disappear after about a minute. But it's not in the frame. So if you're actually using OBS software, you can crop. The other problem I see is you see the little X mark or the focusing brackets there. I don't know how to get rid of those either, to be honest. So it's still not clean. So what I would do is move that. I would move it all the way down in the corner out of the way, like so, but it's still there. Okay, the battery icon's disappeared, but there's still that. You can see it. If I put it on the light, you can see it there, right? Very clearly. The little focusing thing. That is definitely something I haven't figured out how to get around yet. But yeah, it doesn't act like the EM10 Mark II where you can just press and hold the info button. So if you want a clean HDMI out, you have to be in movie mode, apparently. You can't do it in photo mode without having that little bracket focusing point in the frame, it looks like. Oh, let me try one more thing. What if I do this? Let me take the cap off. What if I put this into all points? All right. Is there... Ah, that did it. Look. Look at that. That little focusing square is gone now. So you wait for the battery icon to disappear, put memory cards into both slots, and put your focusing points to all points, and then all of the... Now I got a clean HDMI out. It's in a 4:3 aspect, right? I guess I can change the aspect ratio too here. Let's see what that does. So if I change this to 16:9 aspect ratio, yeah, there's a clean HDMI out, but you just can't touch any buttons or anything. Because as soon as you touch something, okay, so there you have it. All right, I have to run. My next stream starts in like 30 seconds for photo editing, so if I miss any questions, sorry about that, but we'll catch you guys back on Tuesday morning for me. And thanks again for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's great seeing everybody. And if you want, you can join me on the photo editing live stream because that's where I'm going now. Thanks again.